right. Well, the real thing that we got on here for is to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, as we did have our finale last night.
We did.
Before we dive into it, I want to know your overall thoughts about the season and the finale.
I said this a few episodes ago, and for those of you who don't listen to every episode, hear my thoughts, and they are this. Why are people saying this is the best season of this show? I think it's unadulteratedly the worst season.
Unadulteratedly?
I think it is. I think it's the worst. I think it's the worst season on the whole. Like, I don't think much happened. I think, like, we've elevated moments that in other seasons wouldn't even made it on.
Okay.
Like, the whole Meredith thing, like, we have no footage of it. We don't know what was actually said. They won't even tell us what was actually said. Like, even Whitney, who's, like, still harping on this and saying that, you know, Meredith's a pill popper and all this.
Yeah, you're a pill popper and a drunk.
And the thing is, like, she won't even tell us what was said or why it was so egregious. Like, I'm done with that. And Heather, like, somehow, like, how was this an assault on Heather, and why is this her storyline? Like, I will say, like, unless they're able to convince me of something different in these 3 reunion episodes, are we still... Well, something happened in my computer. Anyway, if they're unable to convince us of something different in these reunion episodes, I have to believe that I'm almost in a place where they've got me siding with Meredith. Like, it seems a little harsh. It's like everybody has made Meredith their storyline. And, like, yeah, maybe she's going through something. Yeah, maybe she's, you know, drinking a little too much. Maybe her marriage is on the skids. But why is that Heather's story? Why is that Whitney's story? And I think it's all about projection. Like, I think, you know, obviously Whitney's got stuff in her family she's projecting on this. She's got her own marital struggles that she's projecting onto this.
We'll get into the nitty-gritty of it in a minute. I just meant overall.
Okay.
At a glance.
I'll shut up.
Thank you. I agree. I don't think the season was as good as everyone is saying it is. I think it's not a good season when you actually are having to take them on trip after trip after trip after trip.
Yeah.
Because it means that they're not good enough friends to, like, be able to meet up. They were like barely in Salt Lake City.
Nobody lives in Salt Lake City. I mean, Bronwyn straight up lives in New York. So does Meredith.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows when Mary's not on the show where she's popping off to with all her church's money.
Right.
I mean...
Yeah. And I thought the finale was, like, low-key boring. I'm kind of sick of them being in Greece. There were a lot of Greece episodes.
Heather and Lisa have Florida written all over them. They're about to be down there with Ramona and Luann.
I could see that.
It's going to be a Housewives graveyard down there.
Yeah. Lots of retired housewives in Florida. They could really do, like, instead of, where is it that they all go? It starts with the B.
Palm Beach.
No, where all the old people go. It's where that pastor who used to work at the Journey went.
Boca Raton.
Yeah, we do Housewives at Boca Raton.
Yeah.
Have them all go. But yeah, like a Palm Beach, something like that. They could pull in, like, older housewives and pull them all together. I didn't like, I mean... They started with, like, the whole, like, Sisters of the Salt 12 hours earlier. So I guess I felt like it was going to be bigger than it was. But the whole play aspect and, like, the Greek tragedy of it all felt way too produced. And that's my biggest gripe about this season, is that it was way, like, the first 2 seasons were almost camp. It was like they were play acting as housewives. And then seasons 3, 4, and 5, like, they found their footing. And it was just absolute cinema. And then this, I'm like, it's fine. It's okay. But I don't love the end. I don't love, like, how we ended. Okay.
Oh, it was pitiful. It was pitiful.
Everybody's mad. Like...
And another thing is like, part of it is making small drama into big reaction. And I feel like we're actually getting none of it. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
there is some big drama here at the center,
Yeah.
but no one is actually talking about what's going on. Like, when you have those big blowouts between, like, Ramona and Bethany, like, they're getting into the nitty-gritty of what they've said about each other, what's been
Yeah.
said in the press, all this. And on Housewives, like, everybody's so media trained.
Mhm.
Like, even the arguments are about the media training. Like,
Mhm.
Bronwyn's like, well, no, you're so media trained, you're coming and getting me in the middle of the night and wanting to have conversations off camera
Well,
and blah,
let's
blah, blah,
talk
blah,
about
blah.
that because it starts with them in the morning with Angie coming out, and they're all like, "Your fat looks terrible," and I was like, "Damn." If I walked out and everyone's like, "You look awful," I'd just go back to bed and not get up.
Angie took it like a champ.
She did. She did. She needs to be bubble wrapped because she almost fell again. And I was like, girl, I feel your pain the way and really you should feel her pain too because you always fall down in foreign countries.
Sure.
But they're getting ready. Meredith's in a good mood. They're all happy to be going somewhere. And then apparently the night before they had been in this conversation, and in the middle of the night, Meredith's calling Bronwyn and is asking her to discuss what they had talked about at lunch. And I guess Bronwyn talked to Mary about it. And so Bronwyn in the Sprinter van, I do love a Sprinter van freak out. But Bronwyn absolutely freaks out and gets
She
really
broke.
passionate. Yeah. These trips seem to really break her down. Like last year this happened, and she'll tell some lies, some half-truths, or be like, "Oh, I didn't say that. Well, if you recall, I didn't mean that." But she explains later that she gets defensive when she's going through something. So I think I'm understanding that more and more as I'm watching her. But in this way, she gets really passionate and is like, "I've stood up for you. I've been a good friend to you, Meredith, and you're gaslighting me. You won't take accountability for asking what happened at lunch. You're pumping me for information. You only ask for things off camera." But it's like she flipped a switch.
Yeah.
To me, it seemed like Heather had coached her.
Oh, no. And I think now I'm starting to get a little better picture of why Todd is such a presence in Bronwyn's life, because I think he's not I don't think he's necessarily a good person, but I think he provides some balance for
Some
her in some of
grounding.
these ways, some grounding, and speaks very plainly to her and like creates boundaries for her when she feels very disconnected and she feels very like performative and that she needs to please and all these things. And Todd doesn't have any of that. He's not here to please anybody. And I think that comes off to her as somebody grounding for her, that she needs that. I think she can find that in a much healthier place and will, but I think that's his appeal, is that he's unapologetic and he stands on what he thinks and what he believes. And I think she waffles because she's never had that consistency of someone being truly, she even mentions this, of being truly loyal to her. So she doesn't even feel like she knows how to be loyal.
I also think that she sees the winds shifting and that all the girls are mad at Lisa and Meredith. And I think Heather got in her ear and was like, "Here's what you need to do on the Sprinter van. Say this about Meredith, blah, 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 blah." It just seems like something Heather would say. And I am just done. Heather gets on my nerves. I'm sure she is a lovely person, but she seems like so front of the class, like, "I'm well spoken. I'm wonderful."
Heather either has been the most annoying version of herself this season, or she has been the victim of one of the worst edits in the history of this particular franchise.
Well, she didn't have a storyline. Like
I think that's, man, when you don't produce for yourself, you will get produced.
Well, she is trying to produce herself.
Yeah,
and
but she's
trying
bad
to
at it.
produce. Well, she's trying to produce everyone. Like, that's the problem. She's trying to micromanage the storyline. And you see that at every dinner, every party. You see that with her. She sees that when she sees that Bronwyn is weak, when she feels like Whitney is weak, when she feels like anyone can kind of be controlled into saying something or lashing out, she gives them a
Like,
script.
how did she become Britney's protector at one point? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah, it's because she's looking for a moment. She keeps chasing the receipts, timeline,
Bad,
proof
bad, 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 bad. No, no,
moment,
no, no, no,
and
no.
it's
You ain't
like,
got it. That was your one moment.
yeah, you don't have the sauce anymore. And like, girl, enjoy the fact that you had that moment. And then like, I just wish that she would talk more about dating, like after Mormonism, how it's hard to like figure out what you're doing sexually. How are you teaching your daughters to date in their 20s? What are you doing to feel comfortable as a divorced woman in your 40s or 50s? I would just like to see more of her being a strong, powerful single woman, and she will not talk about that at all.
Well, and I don't think that I mean, I don't even mean this mean, but I don't think she knows how to be that yet. Like,
Yeah.
I think like she was in like what seemed like a fairly abusive religious situation, an abusive marriage, all these different things. And like, I think she needs to give herself some time to learn how to be those things. And I would be very interested in seeing that play out because I know growing up the way I did, in seeing and hearing stories the way you grew up, like there's a lot of room in this show to show someone coming out of those things, rethinking those things, not necessarily even fully leaving them, but like retooling them for yourselves, rediscovering them for yourselves. And I think like there's a lot of great storyline for her, but she's too busy, worried about everybody else's drama and whether they're sharing it in the way that she thinks that they should be sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm tired
She's
of that.
even
I'm done with it.
overproducing like all of her confessionals. It's
Oh,
just,
it's bad. It's bad. It's
yeah.
giving Lisa. Lisa did better in the confessionals this year than she's ever done.
Lisa was funny.
She
And the
did
thing
good.
about
The tree
Lisa,
thing, that's a moment. That's a moment.
I
The
know.
talking to trees.
The thing about Lisa is that even when she's being unhinged and like villain-ish, she is such a lovable villain. And I say that loosely, obviously, and is so likable ultimately. Like at the end of the season, I'm never like, oh, I hate Lisa, even if she's
No,
my
no.
least favorite of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the show is nothing without Lisa. Like, I
Yeah.
think, like, I really, truly, like, you need her. You need
Well,
her.
and I think that's the rub between her and Angie is that Angie wants to be head bitch in charge because she and Lisa both at their businesses are head bitch in charge. And so I think that they are similar in that way. And it really rubs her the wrong way that everyone's constantly looking for Lisa's approval. And Angie's like, hello. But I think that's why they fight so much.